I've just finished a reread of King's Dark Tower series. I enjoyed it a lot more this time round than the first time. I think there's a few reasons for that. The first time around I read them in the order when they're published, and that meant there were big, sometimes huge gaps between books, long enough for me to have forgotten a bit of it while in the intervening times. This time I read them straight through, one after the other, reading every day for the last week. I got myself immersed in the story. It felt like one coherent whole this time. I think another thing that got me through better was that I wasn't nearly so pissed off at King for putting himself in the story so blatantly. First time through, it kicked me out of it, and I nearly gave up. This time, I mostly saw what he did, why he'd done it, and I went with the flow. The little bits in it's still great a bit. But thirdly, the ending felt more natural this time, having read them all at once. And as King himself has said, you might not like the ending, but it feels right. Especially with the hope of change, with Roland going round the wheel one more time. The first time through the last book, the emotional bits of it didn't get to me. I think that was again due to my anger at King putting himself into so much. But this time I had a wee tear for every member of the quartet as they disappeared along the way. I still think Susanna's hard done by. It's not a great characterisation, and Eddie's a bit too superficial, but Jake and Oy are still magical, and Roland's a great wandering, wounded knight of old. So all in all, I thoroughly enjoyed reading it again after all these years. I've been reading King for well over 40 years now, and to me this is up there with his best stuff. Sure, his influences are shown, but the way he weaves them into the story is really masterful. It's highly recommended stuff. If you haven't read King before, this is where to start.